Here we are. Here we are indeed. Look, I like Kelsey Mitchell. I like Aliyah Boston. But the one thing that we pride ourselves on at Black and White Sports is being the voice of the fan. And what has happened now is you officially have Indiana Fever players going after fans. 2 days after their coach told the fans to all go to hell. None of these players understand that they have a completely new set of fans into this league, drawn into this league, and fans of other sports. And you see what happens in other sports is coaches and players get booed. Fans pay their hard-earned money. Booing is one of the small voices that fandoms actually possess. And most professional athletes do understand that. So we have Kelsey Mitchell and Aliyah Boston coming out. Oh, they're not happy with you.
Something has gone seriously wrong between the Indiana Fever and their own fan base. And now 2 of the team's biggest stars are being pulled directly into the controversy. Aliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell are at the center of a growing debate after fans reacted angrily toward head coach Stephanie White. And here's what makes this situation so interesting. When fans start booing a coach, players are often put in an incredibly difficult position. Do they stay silent? Do they defend their coach? Or do they simply focus on basketball and ignore the noise? Now, social media is turning Boston and Mitchell's reactions into a much bigger story, with some fans even calling it a heel turn against the Fever fan base. But is that really what happened? Or is the internet taking a complicated situation and turning it into another WNBA controversy? That's what we're breaking down, because the tension surrounding the Fever isn't just about one reaction anymore.
They're not happy that you, the fan, voiced your displeasure at the Indiana Fever game in booing Stephanie White. But I guess it's okay for Stephanie White to tell the same fan to go to hell. Y'all good with that. And my boy Ben Daniel pointed this out just a few minutes ago on X. The Indiana Fever journalists, the beat reporters that hold their little phones sideways, taking pictures and videos of players walking around in what always looks like pure unadulterated chaos at practice, kind of just tossing balls up. Nothing ever looks organized. Did the sideways camera holding crew, as Ben calls them, any of you guys got the guts to ask these players, were you okay with your coach having told the fan base to go to hell? Who do you think's filling up Gamebridge Fieldhouse? Because you see, before the new fans showed up, that Indiana Fever team was drawing what? 4,200 fans a game? 4,200, and then it jumped to 16,000? This team is getting dangerously close to losing the plot. And as the voice of the fans, I'm not going to be quiet. I'm not going to be okay with it. If these players say something stupid, I'm going to nail their ass over it. I'll make it simple. She just got on a post game and defended a player that just hit her in the mouth. Player that hit her in the head, causing her to bleed from the mouth. Indy has basketball fans, and that crap doesn't fly. Win a championship, and the coach will be celebrated. I'm not sure that this coach will be celebrated now. I think fans are sick of looking at her. Period.
Let's start with the moment that triggered all of this. Stephanie White has been under intense scrutiny from Indiana Fever fans, and whenever a team struggles or makes a decision that supporters don't agree with, the head coach usually becomes the easiest person to blame. That's exactly why the reaction from the crowd matters. When fans boo a coach, they're not just expressing frustration with one play. Sometimes, they're expressing months of disappointment, questions about rotations, coaching decisions, offensive schemes, defensive problems, or simply expectations that haven't been met. And Fever fans have extremely high expectations right now. That means every decision gets analyzed. Every substitution gets questioned. Every loss becomes a debate. And when the crowd turns on the coach, players can suddenly find themselves caught in the middle. That's where Aliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell enter this story. Instead of simply looking at the situation as players versus fans, it's worth asking a more important question. Are Boston and Mitchell actually turning against the fan base? Or are fans simply interpreting their reactions that way because emotions are already running high? That distinction could completely change the story.
Kelsey Mitchell.
Yeah, it kind of threw me for a loop too. I told her to her face, I said, Coach, this is for you. In terms of just a sense of confidence, a sense of awareness of that you're not alone. And if anybody know me, it's like I don't play that. So it's like it really hurt my feelings to see her kind of like have emotions in terms of like not feeling valued and not feeling wanted in a place where she has to coach. At the end of the day, this is her job. And so, she has to show up too. And I think that people don't really recognize that. And I think that it's our job to remind her. It's our cultures. It's our culture. And I think we have to remind her that our culture is not going to let her fall to the wayside. And so I hope she knows that.
Interesting. It did not stop there. Aliyah Boston.
I think when you are on your home floor and your team's getting announced and the coach is getting announced, I feel like there's no reason for any of that. I mean, we come out here and we do everything that we can to win. And I think Steph does a great job with us. Like, we love her and we appreciate her. And so to hear that, it was really annoying, honestly, and disrespectful. But for us, I mean, we kept the main thing, and we said we're going to come out here and we're going to get that dub.
Aliyah Boston. Nobody cares. Soft. If you live by the praise, you die by the hate. This was my reaction. Telling fans to go to hell is also disrespectful. And honestly, you missing layups like Angel Reese while making $6.4 million is annoying as hell.
Aliyah Boston has been one of the most important pieces of the Indiana Fever, and that puts her in a unique position whenever controversy surrounds the team. She's not just another player watching everything happen from the outside. She's one of the faces of the franchise. So when fans criticize the coaching staff, question decisions, or boo Stephanie White, Boston's reaction naturally gets more attention. And that's the difficult part. Players don't always see the game the same way fans do. A fan might look at a substitution and think, why would the coach do that? But the player may understand something the audience doesn't see. They may know what's happening inside the locker room. They may understand the game plan. They may trust their coach. Or they may simply believe that publicly attacking the coaching staff isn't the right thing to do. That doesn't automatically mean Boston is against the fans. And it certainly doesn't prove that she's abandoning the Fever supporters. But once a reaction goes viral, context can disappear very quickly. Suddenly, one moment becomes a headline, and that headline becomes a narrative. That's exactly what's happening right now.
Going after your own fans is not a good look. Fans are paying customers. They have the right to voice their opinion if they are disgruntled. Booing is really the only avenue outside of social media to voice their displeasure. What are we doing? Booing a player or coach in professional sports is beyond the pale. These women are so weak, they make women look bad. I like her less every passing game. Ben Daniel, Indiana Fever players complaining about Stephanie White getting booed. This is literally all I see. Terrell Owens crying. That's my quarterback. That's my quarterback. And it's not fair. CDS. Go subscribe. The women of the WNBA are entitled children. Welcome to pro sports, you spoiled brats. My God, when the boos start, quote, the boo birds are coming out at Eagles games. We've been given a name at home games. This is normal, not disrespectful. I'm rapidly losing my patience.
Then there's Kelsey Mitchell. As one of the Fever's veteran voices, Mitchell carries a different kind of influence inside the team. She's experienced. She understands the pressure that comes with playing in a high-profile market. And she knows that criticism comes with the territory. But when fans are upset with a coach, veteran players can become especially important because their reactions often get interpreted as a statement about the entire locker room. That's why people are paying so much attention to Mitchell. Some fans believe players should acknowledge the frustration in the stands. Others believe athletes shouldn't be expected to turn against their coach simply because the crowd is unhappy. And honestly, both sides have a point. Fans pay attention. Fans care. Fans spend money. They want results. But players also have to maintain trust with their coaching staff and teammates. Those two realities can exist at the same time. Supporting a coach doesn't necessarily mean disrespecting the fans. And criticizing a coaching decision doesn't automatically mean a player has turned against the organization. The internet, however, loves simple storylines. And players versus fans is one of the easiest narratives to sell.
It's a bad look. Ben Daniel, you'll get over it. By the way, Aliyah Boston called Kelsey Mitchell the MVP of the league. If she wasn't such a bad coach and threw her players under the bus, she wouldn't be getting booed. Just saying. The problem with Stephanie White is simple. A lot of people get the sense that she's made decisions that are not solely based on basketball, but maybe on her social identity, including things like signing DeWanna Bonner or putting on the Superman cape for Dejanay Carrington the other day. Now, she's already told the new fans that have literally blew the Indiana Fever building up by showing up by the thousands that if they're not about inclusion, they should stop watching. Then she tells those fans to go to hell. The fans heard her and responded.
The bigger issue here may not even be Aliyah Boston or Kelsey Mitchell. It may be the growing divide between expectations and reality around the Indiana Fever. The Fever have become one of the most watched teams in women's basketball, and with that attention comes enormous pressure. Every game matters more. Every loss gets amplified. Every coaching decision becomes a talking point, and every player reaction can become a viral moment. That's what happens when a franchise becomes a major attraction. Fans don't just expect competitive basketball anymore. They expect progress. They expect consistency. And when they don't get it, frustration can boil over quickly. But there's a danger in turning every disagreement into a war between players and supporters. The fans aren't automatically wrong. The players aren't automatically wrong. And the coach isn't automatically responsible for everything that happens on the court. Basketball is complicated. There are injuries, matchups, fatigue, rotations, defensive assignments, offensive execution, and dozens of decisions happening every few seconds. That's why the heel-turn narrative needs to be viewed carefully. Boston and Mitchell may simply be supporting their coach while trying to keep the team focused. And if that's the case, this story may be far less dramatic than social media is making it sound.
This league is wild. I think I've said this before. Somebody told me not long after I started covering these games, I need you to cover women's sports differently than men. The hell I will. That is disrespectful. This is professional, organized sports. It gets critiqued. It gets criticized. Coaches and players get smoked all the time. You want equal rights, you got it. No problem. I'm sure I'll get some, hey, oh, we're doing this with players now. Oh, no. The players are now coming after the fans. The fans are now responding to the players. The fans are now watching the responses. I suspect the next thing the fans are going to do is respond by shutting their wallets and turning off their televisions.
So, have Aliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell really turned their backs on Indiana Fever fans? That's the question everyone seems to be asking. But before we label this a full-blown player versus fan rebellion, there's something important to remember. A player defending or supporting a coach does not automatically mean they're against the supporters. Fever fans have every right to be frustrated. They can question decisions. They can demand better performances. And yes, they can voice their disappointment. But players also have the right to maintain their relationships inside the locker room and support the coaching staff they believe in. That's where this controversy becomes so fascinating. Because if the tension continues, every future reaction from Boston, Mitchell, and Stephanie White is going to be watched under a microscope. One facial expression could become a headline. One post-game comment could ignite another debate. And one disappointing performance could bring the boos right back. The Fever are operating under a level of attention that very few teams experience. So the real question isn't whether Boston and Mitchell have turned on the fans. The real question is whether Indiana can turn all this noise into better basketball. Because at the end of the day, the easiest way to silence the controversy isn't another statement. It's winning.